Hello, hello, and welcome to Fireside Chat with Kimberly. That's me. Well, look at that. We'll move that around. Okay. So thank you to the sponsor for this month's talks, right? All through the month of August is the Piedmont Farm Animal Sanctuary, Farm Animal Refuge is our sponsor for this month. We have prize packs. I don't have my list open today, and we're going to talk about some stuff when I'm when we get into it. But we have I think it's 7 prize packs for this month of August. So head on over to virtualvegfestlive.com. Uh, Go in and enter your info to be entered into the contest. Don't forget, you've got to upload a photo of you interacting with one of our sponsors' amazing products, whether you're out in the wild and you find them, or the grocery store, or you have some of them at home, you're at a friend's house, whatever. Just have fun with it. Take some photos, upload, and the more creative you are, the better chance you have to win. So awesome. Thanks for being here tonight. Hey, Diane. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. So tonight, if anyone has seen my posting about the show being live tonight, uh, you'll notice that I asked, "Are you overwhelmed?" So that's what I want to talk about tonight. And we can apply this to all aspects of our life, not just veganism. So we're going to do that. Hey, Susan, thanks for being here. So, are you overwhelmed? I sure am. I sure am. And I am feeling it today. It is a Monday to Monday. I got here like ready to go live, like last minute, not prepared at all. As like pulling my green screen down last minute. Yeah, it's live for like, getting into the background of stuff. But how do we manage that? How do we make decisions about what truly matters in our lives? Um, and when we are feeling overwhelmed, how do we handle it? What do we do? How do we reduce that feeling of overwhelm, whether it's because there's just so much going on that we feel like we don't know where to start or stop or what's in between? Or are we feeling overwhelmed by the emotions that come up as we live our vegan life in a non vegan world? Certainly plenty of that. I've got a story to share about that too. Why don't we start there? Being on, the virtual Veg Fest Live, we'll talk about the vegan aspect of it all first. Yesterday, JP and I were sitting in the living room. We have doors that go out to the porch, and behind our house is like a little bit of woods, and then there's like another house behind that, and we see raccoons, all summer long. We actually haven't seen them as much as we typically do, but we saw like this adorable little bandit poke his little head through the gate, and two of them walked up, a mom and a baby, and they were walking around on our back porch. Now, 2 years ago, there was a cat who was living on our porch, Gemma. She just showed That's her name now. She just showed up. She didn't leave. Well, I guess she would leave to go find food and go to the bathroom. Thankfully, she wasn't pooping up on the deck. And but for the most part, she slept on our porch. We wound up getting her a heated house because we didn't think that we could trap her. And we had tried and it did not go well. So we're like, let's try to make her as comfortable as we can. So there would be food out on the porch for Gemma. Well, of course, the raccoons find this, right? So we would occasionally have to bang some pots and get the raccoons to go away. So, so these two raccoons come up on the porch the other night, and they're peeking in the windows and they're looking around. And JP and I, being the emotional vegans we are, assign a story to this. And we're like, "Oh my gosh, this mama with her babies, she probably is thinking, oh, we're hungry. I remember a place where I used to be able to find food. Let's go there." And so they come they come to our porch, and there's no food, and they leave, and we watch them all go down the stairs, through our backyard, under the shed, and then into the woods. And the two of us are like heartbroken about this, right? And we know like they're going to find food. A bear will probably knock over someone's garbage later tonight and they'll get into it. Um, but we both were like heartbroken thinking about this mama, thinking she knew where to go to find some food, and then she gets there and there's no food and she's got these poor babies, and like we make it like a whole thing. So that there's like a lot of emotion there. It's a little overwhelming. Anytime I see an animal that's been hit by a car, I kind of have that same emotional reaction where it breaks my heart and it hurts me so much. And sometimes I will think about like, oh gosh, their families, like, do they know that this chipmunk's not coming home? Um, so how do we deal with that? And you guys feel free, share stories in the comments. I'm happy to put them up on the screen so everyone can read them. Share any suggestions you have on how we take that emotion and we manage it. um, we A few years ago we were driving to work, we were commuting to work, and it was like an hour plus commute that we had. And you would see animals who had been hit by cars along, it's a major highway, Route 80 in New Jersey. It runs all the way to the other side of the country. Um, there was a deer that had been hit, and a police officer was attempting to end its suffering and was not doing a good job. And of course, we were lucky enough to drive by while that was happening, and it was so horrific. And then like we had to go to work and spend all day in the office after that. Um, we we like were making donations. It was and just anything to like try to feel like how can we balance this emotion and do something good with it. So sometimes that's something that we'll do is, when something really hits us that way, when, where can we send some money? How can we help? Can we volunteer somewhere? Who can I talk about who can I talk with about veganism to try to get them to hear it in a new way? Try to use it to inspire me, to inspire someone else. Um, that definitely helps me in the moment. And sometimes, honestly, we just have to feel our feelings, right? And that's okay. We do. We just have to feel them and just dig into it a little bit. Maybe do some meditation. I don't know. Like I said, if anyone has any thoughts they want to share, for sure, just chime in. Any stories you want to share? Hey, Patricia. Oh, there we go. Hi, Patricia. Thanks for being here. And this feeling of overwhelm is it hits us in every aspect of our lives. Today, one of I was usually I'm like settled in, I'm like ready to go. I have notes and I'm so organized. I've got my sponsor list up and ready to be read. And it wasn't the case today because I had some work related things to take care of. And have you ever been at a job, or we can probably apply this to many parts of life too, where someone is so upset that something hasn't been done, timeline hasn't been met, and if you step back and you look at what they're really so this thing they're so upset about, and it's so insignificant to the world. I mean, if this timeline isn't met, look, I'm not a doctor, I'm not saving anyone's life. My current day job is not related to rescuing animals or anything like important. Um, and so when I think about these things that people are so like, "Oh gosh, this is, so urgent." Like, no, it's not. Like, do you ever step back and look at the world as a whole? Even look at your own life and wonder like why you're so upset by this insignificant thing? I don't know. It It's overwhelming to me too because it's so meaningless to me, but it still has to be part of my life for right now, and I've been struggling with that. But I learned a really cool journaling exercise today that I'd love to share with you guys, um, through the Sisters Enchanted. So, if anyone's interested in checking them out, it's a journaling exercise. People are always like, "Ah, journaling's so easy. It's just I write down my thoughts, my feelings, and then I put my notebook away." Like, sure, you can do that, but why not journal with some intention? Why not get something out of it? Besides just like sometimes it's good to just dump stuff onto paper. You don't have to think about it. You clear your head, right? It's certainly purposeful that way. But what about if you're trying to figure something out? Like, what if I don't want to feel overwhelmed like this all the time? What if I need a new perspective and I can't seem to get it because I'm so overwhelmed by these things that for me I feel like shouldn't be stressing me out, shouldn't be upsetting me. So, the suggestion with the journaling was to come at it with intention and to start off with a really simple question. What is it that I desire? And you write that out and then you ask why. And then you write your answer to why. Maybe this thing you think you want so badly is because there's a person in your life who has convinced you that that's important. Or one example that she gave today was about someone who feels like they have to lose weight. If they say like I want to lose weight, that's their desire. Why? Well, because I was at a party and my aunt commented that my dress was too tight. Okay, is that really is that really why you want to lose weight? So then maybe you dig deeper. Maybe you come to the conclusion that you don't want to lose weight at all. You're content, you're happy, you're healthy, you're comfortable, and so you're good. So who cares that your aunt thinks that that dress was too tight for you, you know? And so just to dig deep, to ask why. And she said what will happen is that you will also, as you get deeper and deeper, you'll uncover the language that you need in order to tell people what you want or what you need. And it kind of creates like more open communication, and it makes relationships easier to navigate, and it gives you clarity and insight into who you are, or remembering who you are and who you are destined to be. And that's something I'm going to work on tomorrow for sure. um I yeah, so I was just feeling like you know overwhelmed, but I don't want to just be in that. And Susan has a great suggestion here too. Sometimes just sitting down, taking a few deep breaths to drop into our hearts can help. You are so right about that. I love that practice, Susan. I will, put one hand on my heart, one hand on my belly, and just three deep breaths, just right in and bring myself back to the present moment, which helps me remember the things that truly are important and truly matter to me in the world. Yeah, I guess I think about when I was talking about my day job before, and I obviously have some feelings about the approach. Um and I don't really find it super important in the grand scheme of the world. But for, I guess, someone who's passionate about that, they would. Not everyone gets why veganism is so important to me. I would like to talk to them so I could help them see that. but um but yeah, this feeling of being overwhelmed when life is just like, can I get a friggin' minute, please? And it feels like the answer is no. We have to make space for that. We have to make space for that. And people who are involved in animal rescue and who really see the dark side of humanity on a regular basis, and the things that humans are capable of doing, not just to each other but to other species and other sentient beings on this planet. You know it's important work, and somebody has to do it, and we've got to make sure that we're taking care. of ourselves. So finding a way to meet that overwhelm in whatever way it comes to you, to meet that overwhelm and find a way through it, if it's using, Susan's breath techniques, if it's adopting a journaling process that allows you to really dig deep and get some clarity on your life and where to go next, what to do next is I think that's a I think that's really important. We have to remember because, from an activist standpoint, whether you identify as an activist or not, for me, I believe that just being vegan, showing up in the world, the non vegan world as a vegan, we are doing activism every time we eat vegan food, every time we tell someone why we're not eating the food that was prepared at a party, or when we ask at a restaurant to make changes or to be accommodated that way, we are doing some form of activism. And we need to protect ourselves too, and make sure that we're taking time to address our own emotions so that we can keep showing up because oh, thank you, Susan. Because the animals need us. They do. The animals need us. So we have to be the best version of who we are as often as we can be. Um, take the moments to ugly cry and really just be in it so we can work our way out of it and still show up for those who need us to, for the world. The world needs us to. The world needs us showing up as vegans and continuing to make a difference and make those changes. So that was a little all over the place, but that's what happens when we're just going, off the top of my head. But thank you to those of you who tuned in. I always tell you that I know that we have, our time is precious and it's limited, and we all have so much to do and expectations and things. So the fact that you take some time on a Monday night to just hang with me, that you comment, you let me know that you're here. I'm so, so thankful. Um, I really appreciate you, and thank you. So I wish you a very wonderful week. The stew is off on Wednesday, so you've got Coach Kayla. So tune into that. Send her all of your health related questions. She'll be happy to talk with you about those. So thank you. Have an amazing week. Bye.